Welcome and thanks for joining us for this edition of Scope. Pomio district in East New Britain province continues to pursue for potato production. Work on this crop was established 3 years ago by the Fresh Produce Development Agency. District Chief Executive Officer Peter Peniat said his people had no basic source of income and would rely on growing tobacco for an income. Today, they have multiple agricultural opportunities to make extra income.
The distance between Pomio Station and Mile is about 32 kilometers by road, and it is in Mile and its neighboring village Pakia where the Fresh Produce Development Agency has established 2 model farms for potato seed production back in 2018. Potato grows very well in this inland part of Pomio, where the altitude is high and the climate more suitable, coupled with fertile land. The road ends at Mile Primary School. Between the 32-kilometer stretch is only woodland and forests. The road to Mile was built years ago by logging companies who came to harvest logs. There is huge potential for potato, broccoli and bulb onion cultivation and coffee production that can transform the lives of inland Pomio people in East New Britain province. Pomio MP Elias Kapavore has invested in this partnership, providing 1 million kina to the FPDA to see production, distribution and marketing of potato, bulb onions, broccoli and other fresh produce in the district.
DDA board came in 2018. And we actually upgraded some part of the road, but mostly building some about 18, 19 kilometers of the road. It was a new one by the DDA. Prior to that, the people there were mainly doing coffee, but they had issues with the road to down to the coast. And we were happy to support the road because of many of our agriculture programs.
Mile, Pakia and Pukulu are 3 council wards that are going to benefit from this investment. Other council wards within the Central Inland Pomio LLG and other LLGs include West Pomio, Mamusi, Melkoe and Sinivit will also benefit. Raymond Ulangare, a seed farmer from Pakia and former employee of New Britain Palm Oil Limited, said he was also involved with coffee production with support from the Coffee Industry Corporation.
Community now I'm supporting through this program now, long time long. Bring service come inside long people, long place, so that people only got chance, and only got access long kisi money, so that he can enough him living long time all stuff inside long program. So I'm a big planting thing. Long national government, one time long program, long online long FPDA, na district 2, long support him.
Nami play ama master it, lo this la program. Lo wanen bian, emba help mi pla, lo pikin mi blo mi pla bian oli golo school. Na sit down blo mi pla lo place. Lo help mi pla. Before mi pla na, mi pla na bin look all same. Now roti kam no this la program mi kam by sen sim sit down blo mi pla.
While Raymond takes care of Pakia Ward, Michael Buketona has a new modern shed house at Mile supported by the FPDA. Both farmers have been planting potato for seed production to supply to the neighboring villages and interested farmers so they can spread production in the area. FPDA has recently supplied a ton of Generation 1 seed bags that has already covered 2 hectares of land. Despite the poor road condition and sea freight, FPDA is determined to bring the crop, mostly grown in the highlands, to the coastal areas where it can grow well. Special Projects Program Manager James Cripe said the whole concept was to address food security and provide economic opportunities for the local people.
We've been FPDA along all these rural places, all districts, and people come in along some technical training side, and at the same time, all technologies new plan and appropriate along all this environment. We've focused along potato and balbanin, and all addy crops, all perishable crops later on, but including long and project. But currently, we've million pake, and also some islands, one kind place also Ayura, also islands, cool and suitable potato. So, I need the potato program, and we've got seed program, and FPDA and controlling PNG.
Cripe described the land as fertile and ideal for potato and other crop production, adding once people become familiar with the crops, they can generate good income for households and also provide for their families. Mr. Cripe said not much was achieved when the crop was introduced into the area in 2018 because of a lack of logistics support and funding constraints. However, when the local MP realized the potential and committed funding, FPDA wasted no time coming back to carry on the program.
Generation 5, 6, 7 now, and Salem whey potato grows. So project yet by all seed mibla producing loyal land, and one seed bag and 165 kina. So mibla pay more seed grows loyal. By now, give me go big and all family and all grow now and blow Salem block again. Salem makes money and block again.
Currently, FPDA has full-time officers on the ground managing the trial farms and extracting seedlings from the farmers to expand it to other surrounding areas with the support of the district administration. Other crops like bulb onions, English cabbage and Chinese cabbage are introduced to farming households in CIP and West Pomio Mamusi LLGs, especially in the Auna area, which is a 4-hour drive from Palmalmal. Mr. Cripe said a proper launching is expected in the near future so that MP Kapavore and FPDA can formally announce their partnership and develop a market value chain for Pomio potato to the New Britain markets and other parts of the country.
Any project and potato or balbanin or all narrow food crops and two main focus areas and food security and economic development.
Longtime District Chief Executive Officer Peter Peniat revealed that local people never spent money in the stores because they never had money. He said the people in the hinterlands of Pomio had no basic source of income and would rely on growing tobacco to pay for their kids' school fees. Some would work in nearby oil palm and copra plantations to save money to send their children to school. Mr. Peniat said he was pleased with FPDA officers who have been consistently traveling to Pomio and promoting fresh produce, including potato.
In terms of marketing, when provincial government market development authority also waiting to help us. But we play go through long stage where once we have the capacity to produce large volumes of potatoes, then we can start go back long market. The reason why we got fresh produce in is to come and help us out. Trying to help me establishing some potential we have in terms of all low temperature crops. So especially after me play time long carry out some pilot programs me play long we just bought some of the old seedlings then we play trial.
Mr. Peniat said 300,000 kina was already paid to FPDA after the 1 million kina partnership agreement between FPDA and Pomio District Development Authority was signed in 2019. Another 500,000 kina will be paid out this year and the balance should be completed at the end of the year. Mr. Cripe has thanked the Pomio District Administration and the local MP for inviting the FPDA to partner with them.
Potato next load, me black simi come and generation 1, last time 30 bags, one tiny come and now all flour. So and production of seeds will continue. The very first load come in was established generation 6 now. 6 and the 7 now, I mean we give load farmers now to growing block wheat potato, and block I so Balbanian, we introducing first crop, low Nambis area, crop failed, but I'm learning experience. So I'm going to continue. Some will start on nursery, maybe work on nursery house now. Some will specialize on nursery, and some will planning. We will introduce English cabbage and Chinese cabbage.
When we come back, PNG Ports dubbed Best Performing SOE. The organization is ready to undergo vital rehabilitation to its infrastructure since the launching of its corporate plan. Aptly named the best performing state-owned enterprise in Papua New Guinea by the State Enterprises Minister, William Duma, PNG Ports has been in the media spotlight lately for all the right reasons. Its corporate plan, a first of its kind, will carry the organization forward over the next 30 years. It would include vital rehabilitation to all its maritime port infrastructure.
2021 has been a big year for PNG Ports Corporation Limited, starting with the purchase of a 2.2 million kina pilot boat in April of this year, the first of a fleet of 5 that will be purchased by the company to meet the demands of piloting that will be brought about by increase in oil and gas activities in PNG. In June of this year, PNG Ports launched its 30-year corporate plan that coincided with a whopping 1 billion kina financial facility from the Australian government. The funding comprised of a combination of interest-free grants and concessional financing to support the improvement of PNG Ports' maritime infrastructure to the ports of Vanimo, Kimbe, Motukea, Lorengau, Orobe, Daru, Lae, and other regional ports owned and operated by PNG Ports.
I continue to admire the way we're performing, the leadership, the management, the way you've been able to deliver during these very tough times. And today is another occasion where we are about to witness the presentation of 26 million kina.
PNG Ports also launched their 30-year ports infrastructure plan, providing the blueprint that underpins the Australian government's financial support to the company. In the wake of COVID-19, when businesses were affected, PNG Ports Board Chairman Kepas Wali said that PNG Ports has survived the COVID-19 pandemic without any job losses and that they have been paying state dividends with 15 ports operating without closure. 2 weeks after the announcement of the 1 billion kina funding, PNG Ports once again announced the receipt of an Australian government grant of 26.2 million kina to fund the security and safety upgrade project.
Today we are here to launch a significant security and safety upgrade project, which will receive 14 kilometers of palisade fencing, over 450 solar security lights, and a bank of 50 security CCTV cameras and 3 vessel tracking cameras procured and installed and commissioned.
The project is said to bring about transformational change to all 15 ports around the country, with PNG Ports saying that it has been on a journey to bring positive change to the country's maritime industry. In keeping up with its infrastructural advancements, the company is also keeping up with its tax obligations, making advanced tax payments to the Internal Revenue Commission. In 2020, PNG Ports made a payment of over 43 million kina as part of the fiscal year 2019 and for all of 2020. This year, another advance payment of taxes totaling more than 26 million kina was again paid to the IRC. According to the State Enterprises Minister, over the last 2.5 years, PNG Ports has paid almost 234 million kina. When receiving the payment from PNG Ports, Internal Revenue Commission Chief Commissioner Sam Koim praised PNG Ports for keeping up with its legal obligations to the state.
The check well done. PNG Ports, we are very proud of the achievement.
PNG Ports is also moving forward with its human resources. To keep up with its plan to purchase more pilot boats, just last week 9 maritime cadets were recruited to commence training next year at the PNG Maritime College in Madang. The cadets will become pilots and engineers for pilot boats and will be based in ports throughout the country. It is safe to say that PNG Ports has many very busy years ahead of it, with multiple projects and plans in the pipeline giving all other state-owned enterprises a run for their money.
After the break, National Film Institute celebrates a new studio facility after pursuing the rebuilding of this new infrastructure for more than a decade. Welcome back to Scope. The National Film Institute has been under the radar of the National Tourism Ministry as an important body to promote and preserve culture and tourism in Papua New Guinea. Recently, NFI celebrated the opening of its studio complex in Goroka, Eastern Highlands Province. But getting there was not easy for the team. They have come a long way, having lost significant people and resources.
The National Film Institute, based in Goroka, Eastern Highlands Province, has made significant contributions in capturing and preserving PNG's cultures through film and archiving, dating as far back as the colonial era.
Okay, these are the film rolls that we have here. Sampler on 16 mils, sampler 32 mils, and also this type of film version of no plantilla no save.
The institution's biggest concern has always been in preserving its film rolls, which have been subject to decay since the institution lost its original building to fire. The government then brought in an expert filmmaker, Chris Owen, to help rebuild the Film Institute.
Chris Owen and one British Australian and been come inside walk law country lo 2000 time I'm 29 years old. NCC Salimem come long help him keep him back NFI. So I'm can make plenty walk penis and amelo walk and make him kisi land title blo NFI na tu kisim Lycos architect lo designing building blo mipla na bring him together all the papers na salim proposal go blo kisim funding blo make him no plus studio.
But it was easier said than done.
Na I'm retired lo 2010 because I'm sick. Nanupla Bosman, Blo NFI, Robert Bulaka, and resubmit him all these papers again. Na lo 2012 me plakisim funding lo this project.
This is where issues with finances began, after the project stalled because the money ran out.
NCC and NFI giving project lo works Medeng, LGTS department law. All come started work lo 2012 na working up initiate money pinis lo 2014.
Michelle Baru, who became acting director to the institution, has had it tough since then, dealing with an incomplete studio infrastructure and struggling to preserve the vital materials that hold a wealth of cultural traditions and history of Papua New Guinea. And she has had to do that with the support of her ever-vigilant team and all their families. Ms. Baru explains this in an interview done 5 years ago.
This is what I'm talking about. And a local start the road because all need to step inside the an environment that's very cold, conducive for these ones. Suppose now the vinegar effect come up and you can smell this in the air. Or what something said earlier, it dates back to before independence now, to 1927. Plant all pixel don't pass that play. First election, first parliament.
The incomplete facility was unfit for occupancy, and so the team had to operate outside their property, paying 4,500 kina in rental fees per month since 2012. The construction of the facility was initially 1.9 million kina. However, government contractors said due to variations, it was increased to over 2 million. But all hope was not lost.
Na time no pla CEO blomepla Mr. Steven Kilanda come up paine money again na complete him help him pla complete him this building.
The National Film Institute still had standing in the Ministry for Tourism under the National Cultural Commission. On the 30th of July this year, NFI staff and their families opened the new studio. Minister for Tourism E.C. Henry Leonard and Member for Goroka Aya Tambua officiated at the ribbon-cutting ceremony.
Me talk big thank you long NCC or National Cultural Commission CEO and been giving me money lo complete this studio me. It started in 2012. Na money been finished in 2014, but studio no been complete. So lo 2019 time Mr. Kilanda come up CEO come asking me lo one something me need him. Na me talk me like lo complete him studio when he started looking for money na salim come na me complete him in 2021.
The studio complex has 8 smaller studios and 8 offices. Renovations started in 2019.
Me hammer master this because now building him complete, building board Eastern Highlands give him toko right law step inside the building. I'll give him completion certificate, one time permit to occupy the building.
Mr. Kilanda said the government strategically used the scarce resources to deliver this very important project after 10 years. Within just 2 years and at a cost of less than 300,000 kina, the project is now complete. Kilanda said the Film Institute, the National Performing Arts Troupe, and the Institute of PNG Studies are 3 vital cultural institutions that need to be supported, as arts and culture is one of the biggest standalone tourism products in the country.
That ends another episode of Scope, a kind reminder to apply simple measures to prevent the transmission of the coronavirus. Regularly wash your hands with soap and water, cough or sneeze into your elbow, and exercise social distancing. If you are feeling sick, please stay at home. You can also call the COVID-19 hotline number for more information or assistance.